And extroverts look outside themselves to the world of people and events, while introverts look within themselves to their inner world, not as Flower uses the inner world out here, but the inner world of your consciousness, of ideas and reflections. And another way to look at these two is where they draw their energy. The extrovert will pull their energy from the outside world, and that is why they love doing things and being with people. And they get energized in their relationships with the environment, particularly with people. But an introvert will pull that energy from the inside, like a well. Think of a deep well that they're pulling it up from. What's important to them is territory, having some private space to reflect and recharge their energies. They can like being with people, and at some point, though, they're going to feel run down and need to go pull themselves back so they can recharge. But extroverts feel that everybody has their experiences, what they have been through, and so they tend to share what is going on within their lives very readily. Introverts, on the other hand, tend to feel that nobody knows what they've been through or experienced what they have, that theirs is unique and distinctive. And so they tend to be much more reserved about sharing of themselves. And Dr. Stephen Isaacs shared that he was an introvert in school, and he remembered he had one extrovert teacher who was constantly bothered with him why he wasn't like the other kids going out and making friends and doing everything. And his response to that, he said, was very typical of an introvert when he thought, why don't you just mind your own business? I'm doing fine. Just leave me alone. And that's very much what an introvert is thinking when an extrovert is pushing their agenda or pushing their experience and energy. And those extroverts, and this is where it gets fun, which we'll look at another time, is how these affect those four functions. Because you can have any combination thereof which creates these snowflakes within our beings. But again, those extroverts are always wanting to connect. How's everything going? They're the ones going around checking. Are everything going all right? As a teacher, it was, we talked about kinesthetic and things, but it was always the kid that had to sharpen their pencil but touched 5 kids on their way to the pencil sharpener. They just needed that connection, that contact with other people. I also found it very interesting that an extrovert, remember we talked about that dominant and auxiliary, the dominant trait that we have of the 4 functions and the second place one? That extroverts put their best foot forward, that dominant one out so the whole world can see it. The person who is an introvert which withholds that best foot, and they show the auxiliary or their second best foot to the world. Interesting. Because an introvert prizes most their inner life. And again, the extrovert prizes most their outer life. This is huge in a relationship because an introvert, what you see is often not at all what you get. And so to get to know an introvert, you must go within at some level. And to get to know an extrovert, you have to go without to get to know. Are these making sense? Are they coming through? Are you starting to see things in either your own life or your loved ones? Yeah, and this is the eye-opening thing at that is these are preferences. So we can balance these by appreciating and practicing some simple techniques to help each other. I know, for example, and I've been pretty, on extrovert and introvert, pretty balanced. In my jobs, particularly being a principal, it kind of forced me out of that introvert mode, which is where I draw from my well. But I realized that I like connecting with people, particularly people I know or have some contact with. But I don't like connecting with strangers. Very different. So we are learning that through our spectrum, there's different levels in different ways. Like there's certain things I'm really comfortable as an introvert, and some things I'm really comfortable as an extrovert. And all of that is wonderful and okay, making us the beautiful snowflakes that we are.